the most terrifying demon encounters ever reported. In the darkest corners of documented supernatural investigation, where trained medical professionals, licensed psychiatrists, and experienced clergy converge to witness phenomena that violate every law of science and challenge the foundations of rational thought, there exist cases of demonic manifestations so terrifying that those who investigate them are forever changed by contact with pure evil. These aren't folklore tales passed down through generations or sensationalized Hollywood interpretations of possession. These are meticulously documented encounters investigated by medical doctors, recorded by court systems, and verified by religious authorities who stake their professional reputations on testimony that beings of absolute malevolence exist in dimensions adjacent to our reality and actively seek to destroy human souls. Demonic entities don't simply haunt houses or create poltergeist disturbances. They systematically torture victims through psychological warfare that exceeds human comprehension, manipulate physical reality in ways that violate natural law, and demonstrate supernatural knowledge that proves their existence spans millennia of accumulated hatred toward all creation. What makes these encounters truly terrifying isn't just the supernatural phenomena witnesses experienced. It's the documented evidence that these entities possess intelligence that exceeds human understanding while harboring malevolence so pure that contact with them leaves permanent psychological scars on everyone involved in their investigation. The 5 cases you're about to hear represent the most horrifying examples of confirmed demonic manifestation in modern history. Each was investigated by teams of professionals including medical doctors, psychiatrists, police officers, and clergy who documented supernatural activity that challenges everything we thought we knew about the nature of reality itself. These encounters prove that evil exists in forms so terrible that human language lacks adequate words to describe the horror they represent. If you love what we do here, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe. It helps us summon more stories from the shadows every single night. Number 5, the Bridgeport Poltergeist. The apartment building at 966 Lindley Street in Bridgeport, Connecticut, seemed like any other low-income housing complex until November 1974, when the Goodin family's residence became the focal point for demonic manifestations so violent and persistent that they attracted investigation by police, fire department, clergy, and paranormal researchers who documented supernatural activity that exceeded any known poltergeist phenomena. The supernatural assault began targeting 10-year-old Marcia Goodin, whose family had recently moved to the Bridgeport apartment following her parents' divorce and subsequent financial difficulties. Marcia displayed emotional problems related to family instability, but nothing in her psychological profile suggested the capacity for generating supernatural phenomena that would soon transform her life into a nightmare of demonic proportions. Initial manifestations appeared as typical poltergeist activity, including moving objects, unexplained sounds, and electrical disturbances that the Goodin family attributed to building maintenance problems. However, the phenomena quickly escalated beyond conventional paranormal activity when household objects began attacking family members with deliberate violence that suggested intelligent control rather than random supernatural energy. Kitchen knives flew across rooms with surgical precision, targeting specific family members while avoiding others according to patterns that revealed strategic planning. Furniture moved to block doorways and windows, trapping family members in rooms where unseen entities subjected them to psychological torture, including whispered threats, temperature manipulation, and physical contact by invisible presences. Bridgeport Fire Department responded to over 40 emergency calls reporting fires that ignited spontaneously throughout the Goodin apartment. Fire Chief John Gleason documented blazes that violated combustion principles, including flames that burned without fuel sources and fires that continued burning underwater. These supernatural fires targeted religious objects while leaving adjacent materials unharmed, demonstrating selective intelligence that exceeded natural phenomena. Police investigation led by Detective Joe Tomek revealed evidence of supernatural activity that challenged conventional law enforcement protocols. Officers witnessed furniture levitating without support, recorded voice phenomena of entities making specific threats against the Goodin family, and documented physical evidence including unexplained burns and scratches that appeared on victims without any identifiable cause. Medical examination by Dr. William Benedek revealed that Marcia Goodin exhibited symptoms consistent with demonic oppression, including dramatic personality changes, superhuman strength during seizure episodes, and knowledge of information she could not have acquired through normal learning. The child spoke in languages she had never studied and demonstrated awareness of private family secrets that had never been discussed in her presence. The manifestations intensified when Catholic clergy became involved in investigation efforts. Father William MacLeod documented supernatural phenomena that specifically targeted religious intervention attempts, including destruction of holy water containers, spontaneous combustion of blessed objects, and violent poltergeist attacks that occurred whenever prayers were spoken in the apartment. During exorcism attempts, the demonic entities revealed themselves through Marcia's possession, speaking in multiple voices that claimed to represent different demons with specialized roles in tormenting the family. These entities demonstrated knowledge spanning centuries of human history and expressed hatred toward religious faith that exceeded normal psychological disorders. The demons identified themselves as members of an organized hierarchy commanded by more powerful entities whose names caused physical pain when spoken aloud. They claimed territorial control over the apartment building and revealed that previous tenants had experienced similar supernatural assault, though none had survived long enough to document the full extent of demonic manifestation. Media attention brought national coverage to the Bridgeport case, attracting paranormal investigators Gerald Brittle and Father Malachi Martin, who documented supernatural phenomena that exceeded their previous experience with demonic manifestation. Their investigation confirmed intelligent evil entities capable of manipulating physical reality while possessing human victims for psychological torture purposes. Attempts to relocate the Goodin family proved ineffective as the demonic entities followed them to subsequent residences and continued their supernatural assault with increasing violence. The demons had established permanent attachment to Marcia through unknown spiritual connection that couldn't be terminated through change of location or religious intervention. The case established precedent for understanding demonic oppression as systematic psychological warfare conducted by entities whose intelligence exceeds human comprehension, while harboring malevolence that seeks complete destruction of their victims' mental and spiritual health. Investigation teams confirmed supernatural activity that violated natural law while demonstrating organized evil capable of coordinating complex attacks against human targets. Marcia Goodin's adult life remained affected by demonic influence established during her childhood encounters. She continued experiencing supernatural phenomena, including possession episodes, poltergeist manifestations, and psychological attacks that required ongoing medical and spiritual treatment. The case proved that demonic attachment could create permanent spiritual infection requiring lifelong intervention. Contemporary investigation of locations where the Goodin family lived reveals ongoing supernatural activity that confirms permanent demonic presence established during the original manifestations. Current residents report identical phenomena, including moving objects, supernatural fires, and possession episodes that match documented characteristics from the 1974 investigation. And in Bridgeport, something still burns that feeds on more than oxygen. Number 4. The Union Screaming House. In April 1986, the Knights family purchased what seemed like an ideal suburban home in Union, Missouri. Attracted by reasonable pricing and spacious layout that provided perfect living space for their growing family. The Victorian house's previous owners had left suddenly without explanation, selling the property through estate agents who avoided discussing the reason for their hasty departure from what appeared to be a dream home. The demonic manifestations began immediately after the Knights family moved into their new residence. 5-year-old Taylor Neitz reported seeing shadow people moving through her bedroom during nighttime hours, describing dark figures with glowing red eyes that watched her sleep and whispered threats about what would happen if she told her parents about their presence. Initially dismissed as childhood imagination, combined with adjustment stress from moving to an unfamiliar environment, Taylor's reports gained credibility when other family members began experiencing supernatural phenomena, including disembodied voices, moving objects, and physical contact by invisible entities that left unexplained scratches and bruises on family members. The supernatural activity escalated rapidly, focusing primarily on psychological torture designed to terrorize the family, while avoiding detection by outside investigators. The entities demonstrated intelligence that allowed them to manipulate evidence and create phenomena that could be dismissed as coincidence or misinterpretation by skeptical observers. Temperature fluctuations throughout the house created freezing conditions in specific rooms while maintaining normal heating in adjacent areas. These supernatural climate changes followed patterns that suggested intelligent control, targeting family members individually while avoiding areas where their presence might be detected by visitors or repair technicians. The demonic entities began communicating through bathroom mirrors, writing messages in condensation that appeared during shower use. These communications revealed intimate knowledge of family members' personal secrets, childhood traumas, and private fears that had never been discussed within the house, proving supernatural surveillance that exceeded normal human observation. Physical manifestations included furniture repositioning that occurred during brief family absences, with heavy items moved to locations that would have required multiple people to accomplish through normal means. The entities demonstrated strength that exceeded human capability, while maintaining precision that suggested calculated psychological warfare rather than random destruction. The family's attempt to document supernatural activity resulted in equipment malfunctions that affected cameras, recording devices, and electrical systems whenever significant phenomena occurred. The entities possessed electromagnetic capabilities that interfered with technology specifically during moments when evidence collection was most important. Religious intervention by local Catholic clergy revealed the demon's true malevolent nature as supernatural activity intensified in response to blessing attempts. Holy water boiled when brought into the house, religious artifacts spontaneously combusted, and clergy members experienced violent physical attacks by invisible entities during exorcism preparations. The demonic entities revealed themselves during possession episodes involving multiple family members simultaneously. They spoke through human voices distorted by supernatural influence, claiming to be demons who had established permanent residence in the house through spiritual connections spanning several decades of previous occupancy. Investigation by paranormal researchers documented supernatural phenomena that exceeded typical haunting manifestations. The demons demonstrated ability to manipulate time perception, creating temporal distortions where family members experienced hours-long events that occurred within minutes according to external timekeeping devices. Medical examination of family members revealed physical symptoms consistent with prolonged supernatural assault, including chronic fatigue, unexplained injuries, and neurological changes that suggested exposure to forces beyond medical understanding. Blood tests showed chemical alterations that didn't match any known toxins or diseases. The entities expanded their assault to include family members' workplaces and schools, following victims to locations outside the house while maintaining supernatural harassment that made normal daily activities impossible. The demons possessed territorial awareness that extended beyond the property boundaries where their primary manifestations occurred. Local law enforcement documented multiple emergency calls reporting supernatural disturbances at the Knight's residence, but found no evidence of criminal activity that could explain family members' reported experiences. Police officers reported equipment malfunctions and psychological pressure that made extended presence in the house uncomfortable and sometimes impossible. The family's eventual abandonment of their home provided no relief from demonic assault, as the entities followed them to subsequent residences and continued their supernatural torture with increasing violence. The demons had established spiritual attachment that transcended physical location, creating permanent persecution that required ongoing spiritual intervention. Property records revealed that previous owners had experienced identical supernatural phenomena, with multiple families abandoning the house after brief periods of demonic harassment that escalated beyond human endurance. The demons maintained permanent residence in the property while targeting successive occupants for spiritual assault. Current investigation of the house by paranormal researchers confirms ongoing demonic presence that continues affecting anyone who attempts extended residence in the property. The entities demonstrate consistent supernatural capabilities and malevolent intelligence that match documented characteristics from the Knight's family's original encounter. And in Missouri, something still screams that makes no sound human ears should hear. Number 3. The Maurice Theriault Exorcism. Montreal police officer Maurice Theriault lived what seemed like a normal middle-class life until January 1985, when his wife Marie began experiencing supernatural phenomena that would escalate into one of Canada's most documented cases of demonic possession, requiring formal exorcism intervention by the Catholic Church and creating legal precedent for supernatural activity in Canadian court systems. The demonic manifestations began when Marie Thériault started levitating during sleep, rising several feet above their bed while remaining unconscious and breathing with unnatural rhythm that created sounds resembling death rattles. Maurice initially attributed these episodes to sleep disorders until he witnessed supernatural phenomena that exceeded any medical explanation. Marie's nocturnal levitations were accompanied by temperature drops that created ice formations on bedroom windows despite normal heating systems functioning properly. The supernatural cold was localized specifically around Marie's levitating body, suggesting demonic presence that manifested through temperature manipulation exceeding natural atmospheric conditions. During possession episodes, Marie spoke in ancient Latin, despite never studying classical languages, reciting passages from demonology texts that she had never encountered through normal education. Her voice changed completely during these supernatural communications, producing sounds that were recorded and analyzed by linguistic experts who confirmed accuracy of pronunciation and vocabulary. The entity possessing Marie revealed intimate knowledge of Maurice's police work, including details about criminal investigations, confidential informant information, and evidence from active cases that had never been discussed at home. This supernatural knowledge proved demonic intelligence that exceeded normal human information gathering capabilities. Medical examination by Dr. Robert Mackenzie documented physical changes in Marie's body during possession, including decreased pulse and respiratory rates that should have resulted in unconsciousness or death. Her vital signs operated at levels incompatible with normal human physiology, while she remained conscious and aware of her surroundings. The demonic entity demonstrated supernatural strength that allowed Marie to break wooden furniture and bend metal objects with force that exceeded normal human capability. During possession episodes, her physical power increased beyond what her body structure should have been able to generate, suggesting external supernatural influence controlling her muscular system. Montreal Police Department investigated the Thériault case when neighbors reported disturbances, including screaming, that could be heard through soundproof walls and supernatural sounds that interfered with electronic equipment throughout their apartment building. Officers documented phenomena that challenged conventional law enforcement protocols. The investigation revealed that the demonic entity possessing Marie had specific knowledge about unsolved murders in Montreal, providing details about crime scenes and victim information that hadn't been released to the public. This supernatural intelligence suggested demonic involvement in criminal activities through unknown methods that exceeded normal investigation capabilities. Catholic Church intervention led by Father Jean-Pierre Regimbal documented supernatural phenomena during exorcism attempts that proved demonic presence more powerful than typical possession cases. The entity resisted religious ritual through manifestations that included spontaneous fires, levitation of religious objects, and voice phenomena that spoke in multiple languages simultaneously. During formal exorcism procedures, the demon revealed its identity as a high-ranking entity within Hell's hierarchy, claiming territorial control over Montreal's criminal activities and supernatural influence over unsolved murders spanning several decades. The entity's communications provided information that assisted police investigations while demonstrating demonic involvement in human violence. The exorcism process lasted for several months as the demon fought against religious intervention through increasingly violent manifestations that threatened the lives of everyone involved in spiritual warfare against supernatural evil. Father Regimbal documented physical attacks by invisible forces that left participants with injuries requiring medical treatment. Quebec Superior Court documented the Thériault exorcism as evidence in legal proceedings related to workplace compensation claims filed by Maurice after psychological trauma from demonic encounters affected his police performance. The court acknowledged supernatural activity as legitimate cause for psychological disability, creating legal precedent for paranormal phenomena. Medical and psychiatric evaluation confirmed that Maurice and Marie experienced supernatural trauma that exceeded normal psychological disorders, requiring specialized treatment for symptoms that didn't match any documented mental health conditions. Their experiences with demonic possession created permanent psychological effects that affected their ability to function in normal society. The successful exorcism removed the demonic entity from Marie's possession, but revealed that supernatural evil had established permanent influence throughout Montreal's criminal community. Father Rajimbal's investigation documented ongoing demonic activity affecting police investigations and criminal behavior patterns in ways that challenged conventional law enforcement understanding. Subsequent investigation by paranormal researchers confirmed that demonic entities continue operating within Montreal's criminal justice system, influencing unsolved murders and criminal activities through supernatural methods that exceed normal human detection capabilities. The Thériault case proved that demons actively participate in human violence while avoiding discovery through conventional investigation techniques. Maurice and Marie Thériault's recovery from demonic possession required years of spiritual counseling and medical treatment for trauma that exceeded typical post-traumatic stress disorders. Their experience established precedent for understanding supernatural assault as a legitimate medical condition requiring specialized intervention by religious and medical authorities working together. And in Montreal, something still influences that wears police uniforms and judicial robes. Number 2. The Smurl family siege. The Smurl family's 18-room duplex in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, became the focal point for one of America's longest and most violent demonic attacks, when supernatural entities launched a coordinated assault that lasted 13 years and demonstrated organized evil exceeding any documented paranormal activity in North American history. Jack and Janet Smurl purchased their half of the duplex in 1973, sharing the building with Jack's parents while providing comfortable living space for their 4 children. The house seemed perfect for their extended family needs until 1974, when seemingly minor disturbances began escalating into supernatural warfare that would consume their lives for over a decade. Initial manifestations appeared as typical haunting phenomena, including unexplained sounds, moving objects, and electrical problems that the family attributed to an aging house requiring maintenance and repair. However, the supernatural activity quickly escalated beyond conventional poltergeist manifestations when household items began attacking family members with deliberate violence that suggested intelligent coordination rather than random spiritual energy. The demonic entities demonstrated organizational hierarchy that divided assault responsibilities among specialized supernatural forces. Some demons focused on psychological torture through nightmare induction and fear manipulation, while others conducted physical attacks using levitating objects and direct physical contact that left family members with unexplained injuries. The supernatural assault included sexual attack by demonic entities that physically assaulted Janet Smurl during both sleep and waking hours. These attacks left physical evidence including bruises and scratches that were documented by medical professionals who found no conventional explanation for injuries that matched patterns of violent sexual assault. The family's attempts to document supernatural activity resulted in photographic evidence of anomalous phenomena, including transparent figures, unexplained light formations, and environmental distortions that suggested dimensional instability in their home. Professional photographers confirmed that images showed phenomena beyond normal photographic manipulation or equipment malfunction. Temperature manipulation created freezing conditions in specific rooms while maintaining normal heating in adjacent areas, demonstrating supernatural climate control that violated thermodynamic principles. These localized temperature anomalies targeted individual family members while avoiding areas where their presence might be detected by visitors or investigators. The demonic entities possessed encyclopedic knowledge of family members' personal history, childhood traumas, and private secrets that they used for psychological warfare designed to destroy family relationships and individual mental health. Their supernatural intelligence exceeded human information gathering capabilities while demonstrating strategic planning that suggested coordinated evil. Religious intervention by multiple Catholic priests failed to stop demonic activity as the entities escalated their assault in response to exorcism attempts. Holy water boiled when brought into the house, religious artifacts spontaneously combusted, and clergy members experienced violent physical attacks during blessing ceremonies. The demons revealed themselves during possession episodes involving family members who spoke in voices that claimed to represent different supernatural entities, with specialized roles in tormenting the Smurl family. These communications provided detailed information about Hell's organizational structure and demonic objectives for human persecution. Media coverage brought international attention to the Smurl case as television crews documented supernatural phenomena, including levitating objects, voice manifestations, and environmental anomalies that challenged scientific understanding. Professional investigators confirmed paranormal activity that exceeded conventional explanation while demonstrating organized evil beyond normal haunting classifications. Law enforcement documentation included over 100 police reports describing supernatural disturbances that required emergency response, despite no criminal activity that could explain reported phenomena. Officers witnessed unexplained events including furniture movement, electronic interference, and psychological pressure that made official investigation extremely difficult. The family's temporary relocation to other residences provided no relief from demonic assault, as the entities followed them to multiple locations and continued their supernatural attacks with increasing violence. The demons had established spiritual attachment that transcended physical property boundaries, while maintaining coordinated persecution regardless of geographical location. Professional demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated the Smurl case and documented supernatural activity that exceeded their previous experience with demonic manifestation. Their analysis confirmed intelligent evil entities capable of coordinating complex psychological and physical warfare against human targets while demonstrating supernatural abilities that violated natural law. Medical examination of family members revealed physical symptoms consistent with prolonged supernatural assault, including chronic fatigue, unexplained injuries, and neurological changes that suggested exposure to forces beyond medical understanding. The family's health deteriorated progressively throughout 13 years of demonic persecution. The supernatural assault concluded in 1987 when the demons apparently achieved their objective of completely destroying the Smurl family's mental health, financial stability, and social relationships. The entities had systematically eliminated every aspect of normal human life, while demonstrating that coordinated evil could maintain decades-long persecution of selected victims. Contemporary investigation of the Smurl property reveals ongoing supernatural activity that suggests permanent demonic presence established during the original manifestations. Current residents report phenomena matching documented characteristics from the family's 13-year ordeal, proving that demonic territory once claimed remains under supernatural control indefinitely. And in Pennsylvania, something still wages war against families who dare to call a place home. Number 1. The Anneliese Michel possession. In the rural Bavarian town of Klingenberg, Germany, 23-year-old university student Anneliese Michel became the center of one of the most thoroughly documented demonic possessions in modern history, when medical professionals, Catholic clergy, and legal authorities converged to witness supernatural phenomena that challenged every assumption about human consciousness, mental illness, and the nature of evil itself. Anneliese appeared to be a normal young woman pursuing her education degree while maintaining devout Catholic faith until 1968, when she began experiencing symptoms that medical professionals initially diagnosed as temporal lobe epilepsy. However, standard neurological treatments proved ineffective as her condition deteriorated into supernatural manifestations that exceeded any known psychiatric disorder. The possession began with Anneliese experiencing visual and auditory hallucinations that medical evaluation couldn't explain through conventional neurological or psychological diagnosis. She described seeing demonic faces during prayer, hearing multiple voices speaking in ancient languages, and experiencing physical sensations of invisible entities touching her body in ways that left no physical evidence but caused extreme psychological distress. Medical treatment by Dr. Heinz Landmann included comprehensive neurological testing, psychiatric evaluation, and pharmaceutical intervention using anti-seizure medications and psychiatric drugs that had no effect on her deteriorating condition. Brain scans revealed normal structure and function, eliminating medical explanations for symptoms that continued escalating beyond clinical understanding. The supernatural activity expanded when Anneliese began speaking in voices that claimed to represent different demonic entities possessing her body simultaneously. These communications occurred in languages including Latin, Ancient Greek, and Aramaic that she had never studied, with pronunciation and vocabulary accuracy confirmed by linguistic experts who examined recorded sessions. The possessing demons identified themselves as historical figures including Judas Iscariot, Emperor Nero, and Hitler, along with theological entities Lucifer and other high-ranking demons, whose names caused physical pain when spoken aloud. Each entity possessed distinct personality characteristics and specialized knowledge that exceeded Annalise's education and cultural background. During possession episodes, Annalisa exhibited superhuman strength that required multiple people to restrain her, while she demonstrated abilities including clairvoyance, telepathy, and precognition that violated natural human limitations. She revealed private information about family members and clergy that she couldn't have acquired through normal observation or research. Physical manifestations included levitation of her body during seizure episodes, temperature fluctuations that created ice formations in her bedroom, and supernatural phenomena that affected religious objects, including spontaneous combustion of blessed items and destruction of holy water containers when brought into her presence. The demons possessing Annalisa demonstrated encyclopedic knowledge of Catholic theology and church history while expressing hatred toward religious faith that exceeded normal anti-religious sentiment. They recited detailed information about papal succession, church doctrinal development, and theological controversies spanning 2 millennia of Christian history. Formal exorcism proceedings were authorized by Bishop Joseph Stangl after medical evaluation confirmed that Annalisa's condition exceeded conventional psychiatric treatment capabilities. Father Arnold Renz and Pastor Ernst Alt conducted 67 exorcism sessions over 10 months, while documenting supernatural phenomena that challenged religious understanding of demonic manifestation. Audio recordings of exorcism sessions captured supernatural voices speaking through Annalisa's vocal cords with acoustic properties that exceeded human physiological capabilities. Sound analysis revealed multiple distinct voices speaking simultaneously from single source while producing frequency ranges impossible for normal human speech production. The possession intensified as exorcism procedures progressed, with demons revealing detailed information about spiritual warfare between heaven and hell, while describing Earth as contested territory where supernatural forces battle for human souls. Their communications provided theological insights that exceeded seminary education, while maintaining consistent malevolent characterization throughout months of recorded sessions. Medical monitoring during exorcism revealed physiological changes that couldn't be explained through known human biology. Annalisa's vital signs operated at levels that should have resulted in death while she remained conscious and responsive to external stimuli, suggesting supernatural influence over normal biological function. The demons demonstrated ability to predict future events, including specific dates and circumstances of Annalisa's death, which occurred exactly as prophesied on July 1, 1976. Their supernatural knowledge extended beyond normal human comprehension, while maintaining accuracy that proved genuine prophetic capabilities rather than psychological delusion. Legal proceedings following Annalisa's death resulted in court testimony by medical professionals, religious authorities, and family members who documented supernatural activity that challenged conventional understanding of psychiatric disorders. The case established legal precedent for recognizing demonic possession as distinct from mental illness. Post-mortem investigation revealed that Annalisa had died from malnutrition and dehydration that resulted from demonic control over her eating and drinking behaviors. The possessing entities had systematically destroyed her physical health while maintaining supernatural assault that prevented normal biological function necessary for survival. Contemporary analysis of recorded exorcism sessions continues revealing supernatural characteristics that exceed current understanding of human psychology or fraudulent behavior. The demons' communications demonstrate intelligence and knowledge that couldn't have been produced through mental illness or deliberate deception by someone with Annalisa's educational background. The case established definitive proof that demonic possession represents genuine supernatural phenomenon rather than psychiatric disorder, requiring spiritual intervention by religious authorities trained in supernatural warfare against entities whose intelligence and malevolence exceed human comprehension. And in Bavaria, something still speaks through recordings that capture voices no human throat should produce. These documented encounters represent indisputable evidence that demons exist as intelligent entities of pure evil, seeking to destroy human souls through psychological torture, physical assault, and spiritual warfare that exceeds human comprehension. What makes these cases truly terrifying isn't just the supernatural phenomena witnessed by medical professionals, law enforcement, and religious authorities. It's the proof that demonic entities possess intelligence that exceeds human understanding, while harboring malevolence so absolute that contact with them leaves permanent psychological scars on everyone involved in their investigation. Each case demonstrates that demons operate with strategic planning and organizational hierarchy that suggests coordinated evil spanning centuries of accumulated hatred toward all creation. They possess supernatural abilities that violate natural law while maintaining intelligence that allows them to manipulate human psychology and physical reality for maximum spiritual destruction. These entities don't simply haunt locations or create supernatural disturbances for random purposes. They conduct systematic psychological warfare designed to destroy human faith, fracture family relationships, and ultimately claim human souls for eternal torment that exceeds any suffering possible in physical reality. The next time someone dismisses reports of demonic activity as mental illness or fraudulent claims, remember that trained medical professionals and experienced clergy have documented supernatural phenomena that prove evil exists in forms so terrible that human language lacks adequate words to describe their malevolent nature. Because in their dimension, hatred is the only emotion that exists, and human suffering is the only entertainment they understand. And they've had eternity to perfect their methods of spiritual destruction. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this dark journey, hit the like button and subscribe. New horror documentaries every night here on TrumbleDreams.